Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. Jai Sriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharya Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally and internationally, and I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. We welcome Mother Lakshmi, who is ever resident of our ashram on day 6 of the Sri Navratri or Navratri festivals that is being held around the world. These are colorful festivals. You would have noticed on social media a lot of dancing, dressing up in saris, and we are reminded of the compassionate aspect, the colorful aspect, and the feminine aspect of the one Supreme Being, Lord Sriman Narayan. So he splits himself into various feminine attributes so that the world can understand the compassionate existence of the Supreme Lord. And at the Sri Narayan Dham, we take cognizance of everything that's happening everywhere, and wherever we can, we try to fix that which is broken. And that which is broken in Sanatan Dharma is the understanding of the hierarchy of the Supreme Lord together with all the cosmic administrators. So, on an onward push, every opportunity we get at the Sri Narayan Dham, we address the obvious without any fear or favour, as it is our mission and we persist in clearing the ignorance of Sanatan Dharma that is spreading around the world. So we take the opportunities of these days, and as I said, there is a category of people that like the truth in story form. The truth in story form. So, Mother Lakshmi's aspect in the 3-9 days, her appearance and her story, very briefly and in a nutshell, is that there was a battle between the divine and demonic for over 100 years, and the demonic outsmarted the divine, and the divine had to take cover. South African language, take cover. What take cover means, Sita? Sita, what take cover means in South Africa? We have to be authentic. We have to be authentic South Africans. We got our own way of expressing ourselves. When the kitchen gets hot, you take cover. Satishbhai, I thought I'll be censored, but I don't see any reason to be censored today. Maybe I can just carry on. How many times you remember taking cover in your marriage? Okay, one honest married man. All right, you're an inspiration to all married men around the world. You're the first man that must be celebrated during Navratri because you're the most honest man. Every Navratri we're going to remember your honesty and truthfulness. All right, that is why I know you find it hard to wear a dhoti. Maybe we'll give you something easier to dress with. Just 1 second. So taking cover means running away. So all the devas ran away from the heavenly planetary system and landed here on earth. So they approached Lord Sriman Narayan, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Sriman Narayan were very upset with what had happened. Together with all the known devas with known portfolios, Indra, Vayu, and all of these devas, they were very, very upset. So these devas, together with Lord Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, Lord Vishnu, they generated energy from within, which took the form of a living entity called Mahalakshmi. And all the devas gave her something to form her body. I'm not going to go into all the details, I'm a scientist. Right? Sorry, Pramila, I said story, but scientifically, like your daughter. Right? All scientific stories like your daughter. Not the other stories like your big son. Scientific stories like your daughter. Right? So I'm going to cut it short to the point. Pramila, you like it? You like the descriptions? Then Mahalakshmi, in that powerful form, she fought all the asuras and brought peace back to heaven. You like that story? Short and sweet and scientific. But we can do it as a soappies. If you want it in a soapy form, Pramila, you have to attend these 9 days in the tent down there in Sirupat Road. I think they're having it there at Saligram, Resmond. Where? Where? Saligram. So whilst there's a competition now in Saligram with the Devas and the Asuras. Soli's meat market, they doing Havan on Bryce. And Saligram doing Havan wood, Havan Samagri. If you stand outside in the middle out there, you don't know whether to smell chops, smell chicken, smell pork, or smell the Samagri. If you think I'm lying, take a drive there now. Whatever time that Saligram starts, there's a war between the smoke now. It's gone to that state. It's gone to Yeah, that state of pollution. Tiveshni, you want to go to Saligram? All right, go see the two old ladies. They'll know how to take you there. Tiveshni, why aren't you on this side at the prayer with your father and your granny? Okay, but you could come here. All right, it's fine. You got concession in the ashram, no concession in those prayers. All right, all of you understand? So, I've spent a lot of this week attacking things that is not right. Because it is useless me having a satsang if I'm not straightening the aspects of Sanatan Dharma as it appears. And in these past 5 days, we tried to bring in what we are doing and how things are done outside what we are doing. So if you do research, and if you go to Google, and if you type in oldest religious stroke spiritual system in Sanatan Dharma brackets Hinduism, then Google will find all the facts and tell you that the Sri Sampradaya is the oldest system in Sanatan Dharma, and we are expounding, we are part and parcel of the Sri Sampradaya. And if you go on my page, just a few weeks ago or a few days ago, I posted or I shared an old post of 2018 when I landed at the world-renowned Guru of Sri Sampradaya, Swami Chinna Jayar. I landed in his ashram. I was picked up from the airport. I was taken to my lodgings. I was given a 5 or 7-star treatment, and he introduced me to his devotees on Shri Krishna Janma Astami. You'll hear him introducing me and stating that I am a relevant component in Africa, and I have my own huge following in terms of Lord Sri Ramanuj. Okay? So, when you are endorsed by your very own, that is absolute. Only your own can endorse you. Only your own can endorse you. You cannot be endorsed from some temple chairman, from some pundits, from who are not within your parameters, who are not in your institution or system. You have to be endorsed by your very own. And I want to further state, as I've stated previously, that Sri Chinna Jayar Swami also did Murti Stapna in Guruji's ashram when Guruji was alive in 2007. Sri Chinna Jayar Swami's disciple did Murti Stapna in our ashram, who also followed Chinna Jayar Swami in 2007 when Murti Stapna was done in Sri Siddhartha Ashram. So that, in terms of legal spirituality, endorses this institution as being a bona fide institution, bona fide guru in the Sri Sampradaya. The Sri Sampradaya is the principal learning system of Vedic injunctions. Principal means foremost. Foremost. So if you are in Sanatan Dharma and if you want to learn the Vedas, then the Sri Sampradaya, of which the Sri Narayan Dham belongs, will give you the most qualified information on the Vedas. Because we are the principal institution. We are the principal institution. And if this institution was initiated by the same people that initiated my Guru's ashram, then it means we do not need any authentication by anyone else, either within the Sampradaya or from out. Nobody else can give a more greater endorsement of our Sampradaya, of the Sri Narayan Dham, and of the presiding Guru. So I wanted to make that clear. So if my not knowing Sanskrit is part of spirituality, then Sri Chinnajayar Swami would have immediately disbarred me from entering his institution. Otherwise, I would have entered as a fake guru, and he would have not introduced me to the world, because he is also on social media and various channels that broadcast from his ashram around the world. So he would have not authenticated me if Sanskrit was a qualification. If Sanskrit was a qualification, then him being the most renowned guru currently at this point in time would have not endorsed, because he spoke to me in English and he knows that that's the only language I speak. So I had a personal meeting with him alone, one-on-one meeting. And in that meeting, I asked him if it is necessary for me to perform any function that may have been left out at Sri Siddhartha Ashram, because remember, my guru is a conceptual guru. Swami Sudarshan Acharya Ji is my guru, but he is a conceptual guru. And he said, no, you are authentic as you are. All right. So I did everything possible, and timeously people say, Acharya Ji, you don't have to justify your being. But I believe it is absolutely necessary for me to continuously justify who I am, so that it gives you a leverage to find out, when you cross paths with religious and spiritual leaders, you have an understanding that it is necessary for them to authenticate themselves. Because when you are lost, and take for example these two children that can become brahmacharis. You'll believe they can become brahmacharis. Their parents can leave them, yeah? And both of them don't have to leave this ashram. They got Mataji there for the next 20-25 years. They won't get married. They don't have to get married. They don't worry about the parents. They don't worry about the grandparents too. They just enjoy themselves. I think whole day they wait for ashram and satsang. Now imagine giving their parents wrong information. Their parents will give them wrong information. And what happens to the child with wrong information? What happened to most of you all when you land in this satsang and think someone else was God? Huh? When you came to this satsang first time and I told you who God is, and you got a shock of your life because you thought God was someone else, because your parents taught you that God was someone else, and their parents taught them God was someone else. So it is necessary, absolutely necessary, to tell you who God is. I'm a guru. My job is to tell you who God is, and God is none other than Lord Sriman Narayan. You don't have to prove this. It has already been proved by saints and sages. Since time immemorial, they have already proved it. When you go jump in an aeroplane, do you go and remanufacture the aeroplane yourself and then jump in it? Why you don't do that? Shanti? You want to go to India, go to the airport, strip the whole aeroplane in parts, put it together and then jump in it. Will you do that? Because it's already there. Someone else did it for you. Someone else did it for you. You don't manufacture your own car and drive around. So you don't have to manufacture your own God and worship Him. God has already presented Himself, and through saints and sages, He's already been realized. These forms that you see in Sanatan Dharma of the Supreme Lord and the Devis and Devtas, these forms has been screened in the mind of saints and sages since time immemorial. This is why you don't see in Sanatan Dharma, when you see Lord Ram, you know who Ram is. When you see Lord Krishna, you know who Krishna is. Even in this modern technology, the identification is distinct. The identification is distinct, so that you do not make a mistake. You do not make a mistake. That is why they have symbols. You identify them by their symbols. If you want to identify Mahakali, then I can see the skulls around Jessica. You all can't. I got special eyes to see all the skulls around Jessica. I can see Satish by his head at her feet and all other skulls around. All right? I'm a guru. I have special guru eyes. I can see all of these skulls. But if you want to see Mahakali, you'll identify her with the tongue out and the skulls, all right? So there is no room. There is no room to be ignorant in Sanatan Dharma. No room to be ignorant. Especially the ladies. When you'll need something, you'll need clarification, you'll run to Google. Jessica, search, and you'll find. Now run to Google, search, find God in its different categories. God made many stories. Go and read the Ramayana. Go and read the Puranas. Read the Devi Mahatmyam. God made stories. God was a script writer of stories. He was also the actor and director of stories. Because in story form, as I've explained earlier on, that I've experienced just recently in two different interfaith meetings where total strangers just gave the story and became glued for life. Because that's what stories do. That's what stories do. But Jessica, I think you gave Satish Bhai enough stories. I think he is glued. Please, you do not have to reinforce any gluing. Keep the stories minimal. Like good morning, and then jump in a car, you'll work together, just listen to the news. Then when you're going to your separate office, bye-bye. Satish Bhai is nodding his head, can't he? All right? And in the afternoon, jump in a car again. How was your day? How was your day? Although you'll work in the same building. And when you go home, ask him, you want something from the mortuary? You know what Guru said? All right? Minimal. How many sentences satisfy? Under 10. Under 10. And you live with it, Jessica. I guarantee you live with 10 sentences a day. All right?
Still be a problem. I'll be neglecting you.
All right, Jess? Yeah. There's 10 sentences a day. Too much for any marriage. I think it's more than enough for any marriage. Who disagree with me? Pramila? Finish, Jess? If Jessica has to talk in satsang, imagine what happens to my Satish's life. Imagine my poor Satish. Jessica is talking in satsang. Phew. Satish Bhai, your karmas must have been heavy. Heavy, heavy. I don't know how much wrong you did in your last life. Satish and Jessica was supposed not to be mentioned in this satsang. The children promised they were coming, but they're not here, so I'm using whatever opportunity I have. All right? Just now they'll connect live on Facebook. Then you won't hear of Satish and Jessica again. Are there any questions, Amita? That means Amita knows everything. Okay, Amita, explain to me what the energy of the Supreme Lord does. Because if an audience have no question what it means, they know everything. So the Guru now wants to learn from the disciple, because Guru doesn't know everything.
Energy of the Lord. I think it can confuse you or it can clear up everything.
Yes, nicely put. So it was specifically created for that purpose. Specifically created for that purpose. Maha Kali's job is to keep you imprisoned. Durga means prison. Durga in Sanskrit means prison. To keep you imprisoned means to make you take life after life after life after life on earth. All right? Anyone do goat prayers here?
No.
Okay, thank God. That is why you're looking at me guiltily. You got that perpetual guilty look. And you work in court. I don't know how the two works together. But any question I ask, Kasibai in the back there, looking absolutely guilty.
That's to make the other person feel at ease.
Okay, all right. All right. So the mantra in goat cutting is, so if you the human, the mantra in goat cutting is, before a goat is cut, is that I am taking your life through this ritual today, may you immediately take human form. When you are a human, I will become a goat, and you may take my life. So I want you to go look at all these people who do goat prayers. And then who knows photoshopping? Who can do photoshopping? Amita, go find and put one face of a goat and the face of the human. Because the cycle continues. Goat, human, goat, human, goat, human, goat, human, because that's what the mantra states. But these priests who's cutting the goat for you and written the mantra, did they tell you, Premila? What it means? Oh, okay. Nilesh Bhai let the secret out. They don't tell you. But if you did goat prayers, you always tell the people, the Pandit came and did the clean prayers first, early in the morning. The Pandit came and did the clean prayers. Then cutting the goat is what prayers by your own admission? That is why? You think we need to discuss these things in satsang? Where else you going to learn it? Where else you going to learn it? You will learn everything you need to know about Sanatan Dharma via a bona fide spiritual master. All right? So sometimes the topics are sticky, or most of the times, Pramila, I think only on a birthday she gets away. Right? Sometimes the topics are sticky, sometimes sensitive. Sometimes when you go home, you want to kill the Guru, Pramila. As you cooking, braising, hey, that Guru. He got spies on me. Whatever I did in my life, how he knows. Hey, Pramila? Nilesh? But it's a Guru's job to tell you the truth. Guru's job to tell you the truth. And I had a sticky association with everyone. So we say there are 8.4 million species of life form on this earth. How much? 8.4 million species of life form on this earth. 8 million species are animals and below. 400,000 species are 400,000 mindset of human beings. How much? 400,000 mindset of humans. That is why humans, no two human thinks the same anywhere in this world, because the combination is 400,000. And it's possible because no two human have the same fingerprint in the world. And how small your thumb is. How small your thumb is. All right? So it is a job of the Guru to handle the 400,000, handle and manage the 400,000 mindsets that humans experience. So sometimes an entire family are devotees of the Guru, but then the husband and the wife are not on the same frequency. So I have to manage the husband in a different way, manage the wife in a different way, and manage the children in a different way, but simultaneously be in the same Guru for all of them. You understand? Sometimes I can get a complaint from a child about a parent. Then I have to manage that complaint in such a way that when I give a result, it must be a result both positive for the child and the parent. You understand? And vice versa. And sometimes it is very, very serious. Sometimes very serious. If the parent know or if the child know, they can do a drive-by here on the highway. Sometimes it gets so serious. But the Guru don't worry about the drive-by. The Guru worries about, at that point when the complaint came to him, how he manages it in such a way that there is no break in relationship between child and parent or parent and child. So being a Guru, running a satsang, giving discourses is one thing. Counseling is another thing. And the Guru counsels with the end point. Guru counsels with the end point, so that he counsels in such a way, when you reach the point, everyone will be successful on the same page. You understand? So the Guru's job is not to dress up nicely, arti outside, followed by cameras, sit here. Guru's job is not glorified. Guru is working 24/7, even when the Guru sleeps. Like last night I was thinking of these two children. I was identifying who they are in the spiritual world. I was identifying their role and how they got absorbed to a satsang that they entered for the very first time in their life. You understand? So the Guru is working all the time. These two children live far away. Guru have to do certain things because of their devotion. You understand? So although the Guru don't talk, the Guru is working 24/7. And when you attend satsang, and you got the opportunity right here in Reservoir itself, Navratri celebrations is taking place. But how many of them going to go home with a GPS? How many of them going to go home? In how many of those satsang will children like this be allowed to partake? All right? In the system itself and be participants. Jessica, you can take them for a drive, start from Saligram and let them run around and disturb the Havans, the money making, the profiteering, the profiteering and the racketeering. Yeah. You understand? Are there any questions? Any questions, Amita? So Amita put it nicely. One of the Lord's energy is to is Maya, which must delude you, but some gurus have described Maya wrongly. They said Maya is an illusion. They said this material world is an illusion. If they come and tell me that, these gurus, Amita, in Sanatan Dharma, if they sit here next to me and they tell me the philosophy of Sanatan Dharma, Maya is an illusion, this creation is an illusion, then I'll give them a sounder and tell them that is also an illusion. I wish they were around me, Nilendra. I like sounders. I'm coming from the police force. I gave millions of sounders. Fingers are itching to give millions more. If anyone state this universe is an illusion, God's energy is an illusion, any guru in the world, please bring him to me. One sounder, and he must not complain because the sounder is an illusion. All right? And if any one of you believe that this world is an illusion, Guru don't want to sound you. Sound yourself. You don't feel pain. It's an illusion. All right? So, the elusive power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is for real. The only illusion is you think you are the body when you are the soul. That is the only illusion. No other illusion. Everything you can feel pain for. All right? Amita? If anyone tells you, I think I must have a nice steel pipe constructed, decorate it nicely with a round ball on the head, all right, and keep it here, Amita. And bring all these Hindu preachers who say Maya is an illusion, this universe is an illusion, all right. Then we'll test it on them. They have to be the experiment. One conch on the head. If nothing happens, it's an illusion. If the skull is cracked open, broken open, then this world is for real. What do you think? Is this a real world or is this world is an illusion? This world is real. Everything we do is real. The only thing that is elusive is that we identify ourselves as the body. That is the only delusion. When you realize you are the soul, then the delusion disappears. You can smack yourself before that, and you can smack yourself after that. The pain will be the same. Pramila, you like that? You like the violence in the Guru? You like the militancy in the Guru? That's how you ruled your world, Pramila, before you met the Guru. There was huge noise in your house, Pramila. Nilesh? You still get nightmares of those screams after 2 years? Okay, that's how bad it was, all right? And there's no greater witness, Pramila, than your own son. You are jailed for life, convicted for life, no parole. All right. Satsang tomorrow at 2. I think you'll have to have a meeting after satsang to finalize once more all the things. So Nilesh Bhai has a checklist. Start ticking. And if Jessica say they made a plan, found a plan. You found a plan?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll discuss later. Jai Shri Narayan.